Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, what is the difference between default and protected access modifiers in Java? Let me answer this question with practical demonstration. First of all, what exactly are modifiers in Java? Modifiers are nothing but the keywords, some keywords in Java, guys, and these keywords can be specified before either variables or methods or classes. By specifying this modifier keywords before these variables, methods, and classes, right? The original behavior of these variables, methods, and classes will get modified and they behave differently. Okay, that's why we call them as modifiers, guys. And in Java, the modifiers at a high level can be categorized into two types. One is access modifiers, and other category is non-access modifiers. Okay, the one is non-access modifiers. Under access modifiers, we'll get public modifier is one of the access modifier. Then we have the private modifier. This is a private modifier. Then we have default modifier and protected modifier. These are the different modifiers, access modifiers in Java. And coming to the non-access modifiers of Java, we have some modifiers like static, final, and abstract. These are the three non-access modifiers. Now the question here is very simple, guys. What is the difference between the default and protected access modifiers? Under the access modifiers category of modifiers, we have public, private, default, protected, right? In that, out of all these four modifiers, what is the difference between this default and protected modifiers? Okay, they almost work same, guys. That's the reason people ask them in the interviews, what is the difference between protected and default, guys? Okay, because default, protected are almost same. Small change is there, okay, because of which the people or interviewers will ask you this particular question in the interviews, okay? So default versus protected, okay? So I'll explain about this default versus protected now. So I'll just explain this with a diagram and all those stuff, okay? Just give me a second. Here, I'll write default modifier. If you use the default modifier, okay, before the variables, methods, and classes, okay? So what does it mean? Within the package, if that accessing is happening within the package, if the accessing of this particular item, which is a class, variable, or method, before which the default modifier is specified, if that particular thing is being accessed within the same package, then default modifier will act like public, guys, okay? Will act like public within the package. What about outside the package? What about outside the package? Within the package, default modifier will act like a public, within the package. What about if you are trying to access a particular variable, method, or a class outside the package? From outside the package, I'll show you practically, guys, don't worry. Outside the package, if you are trying to access a variable, method, or a class which is specified with the default modifier, it will act like private, okay? Private. So this is what the default modifier will work like. What about the other modifier? That is protected modifier. The other comparison I'm doing with the default access modifier with the protected modifier. Coming to the protected access modifier or protected modifier, guys, protected modifier. What is the difference between this default modifier and protected modifier? In the case of the protected modifier, within package, same to same, guys, okay? There's no much difference between the default and protected modifiers in Java. Within package, again, it is public. Outside the package, if you are trying to access the variables, methods, and classes which are specified with this protected modifier, anyhow, protected cannot be specified before the classes. Variables and methods you can provide the protected, okay? There's another difference. Anyhow, default modifier can be specified before a class, variable, and method, all the three things. But protected cannot be specified before a class. You will get illegal modifier error if you try to provide protected modifier before a class. So anyhow, that is small difference anyhow, but ultimate difference is that the interviewer is expecting is that within the package, similar to the similar to the similar to the default access modifier, protected also within the package will act like public. Okay, if you are trying to access the variables and methods which are provided with the protected modifier within the package, it will act like public. The variables and methods specified will act like public, whereas outside the package, it will act like private, but there is a small class that is except for child classes. Outside the package, it is public for the child classes, but private for all the remaining classes. Here private, even though it is a child class or it is a normal class, doesn't matter, guys. Outside the package, strictly private. Default modifier is strictly private. But coming to the protected, okay, outside the package, there's small difference between the default modifier and protected modifier, where default is private for all the classes, including the child classes, whereas protected is only private for the normal classes, but public for the child classes. Okay. For the classes which are inheriting this particular class from a different package having this protected modifier specified variables and methods. Okay. Outside the package also it is public for the child classes, but private for the remaining classes which are not child classes. Okay. This is what is the difference that the interviewers will be expecting, guys. Apart from the small difference I told you, right? A default modifier can be specified. If you want to add more lines, right, you can also mention this, but this should be your second answer, guys. This should not be your first answer. Can be specified before classes, variables, and methods, all of them. Okay. Default modifier can be specified before the classes, variables, and methods. But coming to the protected modifier, protected modifier cannot be specified before the class. You'll get illegal modifier. It can only be specified before the variables and methods. Okay, this is what you have to understand, guys. Okay, this is what is the thing that you have to understand. I'll just take a copy of this and put in the notes so that you can refer it later if you want. So cut this part, Control C, and I'll take it here and just paste it here, guys. That's it. The image will come so that you will have a reference of that. Now coming to the practical demonstration, guys. Coming to the practical demonstration of this default and protected modifier, I'm going to cover here. Okay, I'll go to the Java project here, and there is a package already I created as part of the answering previous interview questions, that is modifiers package. Here, I'll create some sub-packages, guys. I'll just create some packages like sub-packages. That's one package. Let's say within the one package, I'll just move all these files, guys. Okay, within the one package. Okay, I'll move all these files. Okay. Now, freshly, I'll create one more package, guys. Previous files I explained as part of the explanation of this package, modifiers, right? I moved it into one package. I'll create multiple packages here. I'll create one more package like this, two package, guys. This is a two package. Okay, now in the second package, I'll create a new class. I'll just name this class as, let's say car class. Okay, some random class like car class I'll create, guys. Now, once I create an object for the car class here, inside the car class, I'll create some variables and methods, guys. Inside this car class, I'll create some variables and methods. I'll create a variable like string, company of the car, and one sample method I'll create like public void start car. Car started will be printed if you call this particular method. Okay, system.out.println car started. Okay, these are the very simple variable and method. For a sample I created, you can create multiple variables and methods, but for this example, I'm going to create only one simple thing. And inside this, I'll create one more class. Let's say this is a demo1 class. Let's say demo1 class with main method so that I can run the code here. Okay. So this demo1 class and car class are part of the same package. If you clearly observe, guys, this demo1 class is part of the two package, whereas car class is also part of the two package. Both the classes you can see here, demo1 car belong to the same two package. Okay, they belong to the same package. In such kind of cases, if I don't specify any modifier here, that becomes a default modifier. Default modifier is not a keyword, guys. Okay, if you don't specify public, private, protected, then automatically, if you don't specify that any modifier here, it becomes default by default. And here, start car is provided with public. I'll remove that, guys. Okay, I'll remove that. Even car class also, before the class also public is there. I'll remove that. If you don't specify any modifier before a class, variable, and method, that becomes a default modifier, guys. Now here inside the main method, if I create an object, car1 is equal to new car. Okay, no problem will come, guys. You can easily create an object for this car class because default modifier acts like public within the package. Since the demo1 class is also part of the same package, okay, we are not getting any errors. Okay, now write down guys, car1 dot company. I can access the company also. This company variable also I'm accessing because it's a default access modifier. If you don't specify any modifier, it's a default modifier and it acts like public within the package. So this is within the package, so it acts like, Honda is a company. Let's say, you see, you'll not get any error here. Start car also can call directly here, car1 dot start car. I'll say, you see, you're able to access it, no problem at all, because within the package default access modifier specified class variable and method will act like public. But what if I create one more package? I'll create one more package, guys. I'll just name this package as .3 here, okay, which is a different package. In this, if I create one more class like demo2 class with the main method, if I create, click on finish, I'll close this demo1, and in place of the demo1 I'm going to open the demo2 here. And for now we got the demo2 class, but demo2 class belongs to a different package, that is 3 package, whereas car class belongs to a different package known as 2 package. Still, if I want to access this class variables and methods here, is it possible? No, guys, it's not possible. If you try to create an object for the car class here, car is equal to new car. Okay, car is equal to new car. If I say, okay, hover the mouse on this, okay, from this package I have to import, guys. I have to import this particular from a different package, right? Car class belongs to a different package. I would like to import that. Import this package name. You give the package name. Okay, if you are trying to access a particular class outside a package, right, you generally have to import it from the respective package, and here I have to give the car, for which you are already getting the error because change visibility of the car to public, it's kind of default here, you cannot access. Okay, default modifier specified classes variables and methods will act like what, guys? Outside the package they will act like public, sorry, they'll act like private. So hence you are unable to create the object, unable to import this car class outside the package, and unable to create the object. You are getting the errors. Even after importing also it's not working, means cannot access this because it's default type. Again, if I make it public, right, you see the errors will be gone. You see the import statement error gone, and you are able to create the object, guys, for the car class from this 2 package, because now it is public. But if I change it back to default, right, you cannot access. Okay, I'm making it public because I want to try this variables and methods, guys, without creating an object for the car class. How can I try to access these variables and methods in the class? If it is default class, no way of creating the object also. But assume that this particular class inside which this particular default variables and methods are there, if you want to still access, car dot company is not coming. Okay, this will give you the error because default will act like private outside the package. Since this particular demo2 class is outside a different package of the package in which this variables and methods class is there, you see, you'll not be able to access this. Okay, similarly, car dot start car also you cannot access, you cannot call this method also, you'll get the errors. Okay, because they are specified with the default modifier. This is not at all possible, guys. It's not at all possible. Okay, in Java. Fine. Now the other thing is that what if I'll just close all this stuff, guys. I'll close all this stuff. Now what I will do is I'll again go to the car class, guys. I'll make this protected here. As I told you, right, protected modifier cannot be specified before a class. Protected modifier will become an illegal modifier if you're not. Default modifier, which is no keyword, we can specify before a class, but protected we cannot specify, private we cannot specify. So I'll just stick it to public because anyhow protected is not going to, cannot be specified before the class. What about the variables and methods? Here, protected can be specified before a variable, and protected also can be specified before a method. Okay. Thing is that protected also will do the same thing, guys. Within the package, it will act like public, but outside the package, it will act like private, except for the child classes. That you have to see the difference. Okay. So now, once I make this particular variables and methods as protected, and the car class cannot be protected because it becomes an illegal modifier. Now I'll open the demo1, and here, in this case, if I try to create an object for the car class, no issues, guys. You see, you are able to access this one. Okay. There are no errors coming when you create an object for the car class because it's public, guys. Protected cannot be specified, public can be accessed. What about the variables and methods? They are specified with the protected modifier, but still you are able to access within the package. Demo1 belongs to the same package and car class belongs to the same package. Hence, protected will act like public within the package. But if I open the demo2.java, since this particular car is a, okay, since this particular car is a public, you can access it. Okay, I can show you. Okay, you can create an object, guys, without import statement. I'll show you. but this particular class is outside the package. So we have to import the car class from that particular package. You want to use the variables and methods of car1 is equal to new car L, right? You can create an object, guys. You'll get an error, but this is not the error that you are thinking. It's asking you to import this car class from the respective package. From outside the package, if the car class belongs to, you have to import this particular modifier pack dot to multiple places in this project, right? Car class is there. I'm going to import it from the respective to package, okay? Modifier pack dot to dot car. Once you do that, right, you say car class is accessible because it's public. You can access anyhow. It's not protected. You cannot provide protected before the class. Now the package name is different, guys. The package name in which demo2 is available is 3, and the package name in which the car class is available is 2. Different package. In such kind of cases, protected will act like what? Protected will act like private, guys. Okay. Here, if you say car.company, it will not come. Company is equal to, if I give Honda, it will not come, guys. It will give you an error because protected will act like private outside the package. Okay. Outside the package. Here, similarly, car1 dot what is the other one, guys? Car1 dot start car. Start car. You try to call the method. Here also you'll get the error, guys. You'll also get the error. I'll do one thing, guys. I'll just comment all this stuff. I'll comment all this stuff, guys. And what I will do here is instead, I told you, right? For default modifier outside the package, whether it is a child class or normal class, it is completely straightforwardly strictly private. But coming to the protected, it has a small loophole here. That is a small possibility is there to access the variables and methods of protected type outside the package. That is this particular class where you're trying to access protected variables and methods of another class in outside the package. Okay, that particular class should be the child class of that particular class. Okay, so here what I will do is I'll make this particular, okay, I'll make this demo2 extends car class. I'll make the demo2 extends car class. Import statement is already there, so otherwise you'll get error here. You have to do the import here of the proper class that you want to import. Okay, extend. Now create a normal method, guys. Public void sample method I'm creating. Public void sample method I'm creating, and let's see whether I'm able to access this protected variables and methods outside the package. Even though they are mentioned with protected modifier, and access them outside the package. Outside the package, by default, they will behave like private, but this is a child class, so it should be a different thing. Okay, so here I'll simply write down company is equal to, okay, inheritance means what? The child class will inherit the properties of the parent class. So here company is equal to, I don't have to create an object here, guys. Directly say company is equal to Honda and directly call the start car method. You see, I'm able to access in child classes. Okay, but for default, it is not possible, guys. You may think that this child class concept may be applied for default. I removed that protected here and made it default. Now click on save button, save all button. You see errors are coming. This is not possible. Even for child classes, default is not possible. Default will act like private. Okay, you cannot use this variables and methods of this particular class outside the package for default. But if I make it protected, there is a small thing, that small room that where you can access them. If that particular class is a child class of this particular class outside the package, you can still access them, guys. Okay, protected will act like public if that particular thing is a child class. If it's not a child class, it will act like private, guys. Okay, so this is a small difference that you have to explain, guys. This is a small difference you have to explain. Okay, in the interviews, whatever the diagram I shared you, right, that is the ultimatum, guys. This is a diagram you have to, okay, draw and explain if required, or explain in a verbal format, no problem. Okay, within the package, default will act like public. Outside the package will act like private, irrespective of whether that particular class is outside the package or child classes or normal classes. Okay, but coming to the protected, within the package, similar to default, it is public, but outside the package, it's private except for the child classes. Okay, here except for child classes option is not there. And other one is like default modifier can be specified before classes, variables, and methods, whereas protected modifier can be specified only before the variables and methods, but not before the classes. If you try to specify the protected modifier before a class, you'll get illegal modifier error. Okay, like this, you have to answer this question so that the interviewer will come to know that you have very good clarity on this concept of modifiers. Okay, so theoretical explanation with theoretical explanation and practical demonstration. I've answered this question for you. Hope you have liked the answer for this question. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye bye.